here?
Yeah.
It's called The Tobacconist. This is another tale from the Twilight Zone. Tale from the Twilight Zone. The Tobacconist. The year is 2010 AD. The scene is a typical high street newsagent somewhere in the English countryside. The bell above the door tinkles. "Good morning, Mr. Patel," smiles Frank Nibble, tipping his hat. May I have 20 silk cut, please?" Mr. Patel shook his head. "We don't sell cigarettes." "It says Tobacconist above the door," frowned the old man, tapping his fingers on the counter. All the shelves behind the cigarette counter are empty. Mr. Patel smiles. "Would you like a packet of mints instead?" he asked. "No," sighed Frank. "I want a packet of cigarettes." "What about nicotine patches?" asked Mr. Patel. The Pakistani tobacconist disappeared into the stockroom. And returned a few minutes later. "How about a sherbet dip?" asked the middle-aged Pakistani behind the counter. "Can you smoke a sherbet dip?" asked the old man. The shopkeeper scratched his head. "Are you over 35? he asks. "I'm 68, frowns the old man. "Do you have any proof of ID?" asks Mr. Patel. Frank Nobble fumbles inside his coat pocket and hands his pension book to the shopkeeper. "Why do you need ID?" he asks. "It's the law," insists the Pakistani behind the counter. Mr. Patel inspects the pension book. "This doesn't have your photograph in it. Do you have a driving license?" "I can't drive," frowned the old man. "How about a passport?" asks the shopkeeper. "Why do you need to see a photograph?" sighs the old man. "I'm standing right in front of you." "New government legislation," frowns the shopkeeper. "We're not allowed to sell cigarettes to anybody under the age of 35. Frank unscrews his colostomy bag and puts it on the counter. "Will this do?" he asks. Mr. Patel shook his head. "Look, mate," sighed the old man, "I've got a bloody walking frame. Of course I'm over 35. The Pakistani scratches his bearded chin. There was a long queue building up behind the pensioner. "Well, I will serve you this time, but in future I will need to see some form of photographic identification." "Thank you," sighs Frank. "Now, can I have a packet of cigarettes, please?" Mr. Patel looks under the counter. "Which brand?" he asks. "Silk cut," frowns the old man. "We have no silk cut," sighed the shopkeeper. What do you have then?" asks Frank. "I've got Dead Fetus Super Kings, Rotting Skin Tobacco, Impotency Super Kings, Brain Tumour King Size, Cancer Super Kings, Heart Attack Specials, Bronchitis King Size. I've also got Asthma King Size, Throat Cancer Eagles, and High Blood Pressure Super Kings." "They are strange names for cigarettes," frowned Frank. "New government legislation," sighs Mr. Patel. "Well, I'll have 20 Bronchitis Super Kings, please," asked the old man. "That will be £17.52, please." The shopkeeper puts their packet of cigarettes onto the counter. "And a box of matches?" asked Frank. £18.22, please." Frank Nobble opens his wallet and hands his credit card to Mr. Patel. He picks up the cigarettes and puts them into his pocket. It is 8 o'clock in the evening and Frank Nobble is in his local pub, the Duck and Alligator, drinking a glass of water. Well, have you seen the price of beer these days? Hang on. He takes out a packet of cigarettes. The landlord walks up to the old man's table. "You can't smoke in here, sir," It's against the law, he insisted. Frank Noble stands at the bus stop, waiting to catch the last bus home. He puts a cigarette between his lips. A young woman taps the old man on the shoulder and points to a no smoking sign on the window of the bus shelter. Frank sat on the bus. He reached into his coat pocket and takes out a packet of cigarettes. The other passengers glare at him. "You can't smoke on the bus!" they shouted. Frank Noble was walking down the street. He takes out a packet of cigarettes and puts one in his mouth. A policeman walks up to him. "You're under arrest, Sonny," he frowns. "Why?" asks Frank. Constable Dipstick opens a little black book. "New government legislation," he insists. "No smoking in restaurants, cinemas, pubs, shops, public laboratories, laundrettes, offices, hospitals, abattoirs, factories, theatres, trains, taxi cabs, private cars, nightclubs, bicycles, forests, mountains, mortuaries, cemeteries, rubbish dumps, and no smoking in the streets." He puts the little black book back into his pocket. Where can I smoke?" asks the tired old man. A policeman takes off his helmet and scratches his head. "How about the Houses of Parliament?" he suggests. Came up with that new ending.
Yeah.
At the end, that was because you said you were saying that, weren't you?
About the House of Parliament.
Yeah.
Got ya.
Yeah. Tell me about that again. That's why I changed the ending.
The only place in the whole of the country you're allowed to legally smoke inside a building, but a public building. You're not even allowed to smoke in a bus shelter if it has a roof and a side.
Yeah.
But you're allowed to smoke in the Houses of Parliament. They're the ones making the rules for us, and they're the ones that are allowed to do it.
Do they actually smoke in the Commons room or only in the pub?
It's in a smoking room.
Is there anything on YouTube about that?
Oh, I don't know, we'll have a look. It's a smoking room in the House of Parliament where they're allowed to legally smoke, and it is a public area because there is many people around.
Yeah.
Not for the public as me and you, but obviously.
Public as in the politicians.
Yeah. So, cheers. So, I think that's diabolical, to be truthful.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? It's not fair, is it?
They make the rules up. We're not allowed to have a fag in the pub.
Yeah, but they are.
Yeah, they are. There's a bar next door to where they have their smoking room. Supposedly, but I know there is a smoking room and a bar in there.
Oh bloody hell, that's taking the piss, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, I remember the days we used to smoke in the pub.
Oh, I used to smoke in the pub. Well, everyone used to smoke in the pub when I was a kid.
Yeah.
When I was about 15, I was smoking cigars in the pub at the age of about 16, I suppose.
Yeah.
Because my mate used to live next door to the 8 Bells pub. I'm 46 now. But when I was sort of like a teenager, we used to smoke in the pub. 16, 17 sort of thing. Smoked great big cigars, actually.
I'm not thinking you was the Godfather.
Yeah, great time it was. It was pretty good.
Done.
Alright, done.